There. All right, Nova. How you doing? What's your Eve story?
My Eve story. Oh boy.
You don't have to go in. Like, just who are you first of all before we launch into what you got to talk about today?
Well, I'm a Bomberspar FC, and I've been doing it since 2014 approximately.
Eh,
And I kind of accidentally restarted Bomberspar as a thing, and
Just in case
have been
people don't
doing that
know.
ever since.
Excellent. Just in case people don't know, what is Bomber's Bar?
Bomberspar is the first NPSI community. That means anyone can join, regardless of your corporations or backgrounds or what kind type of space you're from. Everyone is welcome to join. Random fleets, they're mostly held every day or twice a day, different time zones, and everyone is welcome to join the channel Bomberspar with a space in the middle. And yeah, those are public fleets basically.
I do know quite a few people within the Convocation of Empyreans uh, that are active members of Bomber's Bar. So,
Yeah,
what kind of
perfect synergy because
hmm?
you Melro guys, yeah, I see them often in Fleet, and I think a bunch of them are mostly high-sec players and mostly casual fun players who are not into hardcore politics or null-sec stuff. And yeah, they also get to shoot their mining competition if they happen to be miners.
Uh-oh. We're already having controversy. Bomber's Bar do one thing badly. They make us put cargo mods on my Black Ops. Unforgivable. Well, I guess the interview's over
Yeah,
then.
that's true. That's very true. Yeah, we need cargo expanders for our Black Opses. The fittings, they look funky, but they work.
Fair enough. Okay, so what have you guys been up to?
It's been a super crazy weekend. So one FC basically had the idea. We had 24-hour fleets before, a bunch of times, but one FC said, "Why not 48 hours?" And the way that our FCs are is like, yeah, okay, let's try. But the things I've seen this weekend, I I haven't seen that in any other group or organization, and I can't imagine anyone else pulling it off that way because there was so much improvisation, so much logistical work, so much teamwork. There's so many gears that need to be oiled during a fleet in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes while we are fighting enemies, someone is scouting a chain or someone is doing logistics so we can have a new rolling ship. It was really crazy and insane. And the stories that happened that weekend, I can't even remember them all because I drank too much. But like one of the highlights was um, one of our FCs dropped his 100 bombers on a gating Titan, and they actually shot it quite a bit, but he bosoned back. And since everyone was so fatigued, he actually hit like 24 people or so. So that was pretty rare.
So, okay, so you had a 48-hour fleet, right?
Yes, insanity, complete insanity.
So, how many different drops did you do in 48 hours?
I have no clue and no recollection of all of them because I haven't been on all of them. It's kind of impossible.
That's
I
fair.
think one of our fleet members managed to be within 41 hours of the. Oh no, wait. I think he slept like 6 hours, he said in total. So
Oh, I
whatever
got
that was.
corrected. It was a 52-hour fleet. My bad.
So we had. After we finished the 42 hours, there was like my FCing shift ended, and then I was like, okay, because this other FC was willing to take over for the after party. We actually extended it 4 hours longer.
Well, that's how you know that that you're doing something right, because you do it for 48 hours and then people are like, "Nah, we want to keep going. It's okay. You can go rest.
Yes,
We'll take it from
that
here."
was crazy.
Wow, that
That
must
was
be really
crazy. I
cool.
think on average we had over 100 fleet members all the time. I think for most of the time at least, and I think in the end we killed over 1 billion per hour. although we always felt like we were really unlucky with the drops because we didn't get a super this weekend, and we thought, yeah, for sure we're gonna get at least one. But we got a bunch of Rorquals, a bunch of other capitals, dreadnoughts, carrier, and
Do you think that the fact that they
battles.
knew that Bomber's Bar was running this fleet might have impacted people's willingness to run during that time, or do you think that you don't have that kind of impact?
We don't know. We heard that some nullsec alliances were like, "Hey, watch out this weekend! Bombers Bar is doing a fleet, blah blah." But I don't really know if their members listen to it or not. I would really like to see rating data analysis from our data guys compare
Nova?
total amount and if it has a big dip in it or not. That would be really interesting if it had any effect at all. I mean, at least when we are in one region and they kind of found out that we're there and we dropped already on one thing and it died, that usually damps down their retting and mining efforts for 1 or 2 hours. But so at least we did that effect, but it can't be that big because we can only always be in one place at one time.
Oh, and Gertie the Chaos, who is also a streamer, go follow him, was streaming it a fair chunk of the time. I remember rating it with
I
someone
think he
at least once.
I think he slept very little and he almost did the whole 48 hours.
He
I'm not
said
sure,
he said he was the whole thing. Oh, 48 hours stream,
Yes.
42 hours of active playing. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did anybody
It was
did
pretty
anybody
crazy.
stay for the whole thing besides that?
I don't think for the whole thing. I think the one champion we had, he slept 6 hours in total for the whole weekend.
So let's take a step back. What brought this on? What makes you go, you know what I want to do? Not sleep for 2 days voluntarily for a video game. Like what? Where did that begin?
Well,
Where did this journey begin?
I was sleeping. I wasn't that crazy, but the EFCs were just in the EFC chat. Hey, let's do another 24-hour fleet. No, let's do a 48-hour fleet, and everyone was like, yeah, that sounds crazy. Let's do that. That was pretty much what brought this on, because events every now and then, they're good for us, they're good for the community,
Immortal.
but also just to see if we could do it. And we're actually big enough now with I think we have 25 FCs approximately. I keep losing track, but that's approximately what we have. And we have different time zones. So 3 Australian guys, 1 South Korean, a bunch of British, German, Americans a lot, Canadian, and that's how you get different time zones, and you can actually run nonstop a fleet.
So you guys have done 24-hour fleets before. This was just like, hey, what's crazier than 24-hour fleets? 40-hour fleets. Is that pretty much how it went down? Okay.
Yeah, also it's a tremendous challenge to do in the background for us organizationally to have all the support people, because there was at least 100 support people involved in this weekend, I think. Not just actively in the fleet, but also in the background and preparing and so forth, and getting all the ships in. And we even on the weekend itself, because we ran through so many things, we needed to do more logistic work while we were fighting and while we were doing other stuff.
Yeah, so because so these kind of fleets, you are more or less have 2 phases, right? There's the hunting phase and then the killing phase, where for the most part the group is most of the time just sitting on the Black Ops waiting around while the scouts are out finding something to go kill, and then you jump through and kill it. But what you're saying is that like even as you're and well, actually there's a 3rd phase, which is the reset phase, right? When you have to get all of the guys back to the original position and ready to go again. But what you're saying is that during
Sounds like you were on
what?
our fleets. Sounds like you already joined a bunch of our fleets.
Well, I think I've been with Bombers Bar at least once, but I know how stealth bombers go. But so what you're saying is that like you basically had multiple teams. So while you're killing, there's another person looking for there's other people looking for more people. There's other people bringing in resupplies. Like all 3 things are kind of happening all at once.
Yes.
So that way the active group kind of just always has what they need by the time they're reset.
Yeah, pretty much like that. Also, what's happening in the same time is people are joining and leaving. So you have a constant stream. At least one or two people need to take care of the new people coming in. So if they're
Yeah.
completely new, they need a little bit more attention. And if they are just rejoining the fleet, they almost need no guidance or anything. So that's a little work. But, like we had people Xing up, I don't know, like 20 people per hour or so. It was crazy.
So why do people want to come and join Bomber's Bar? Is it just for the kills? Do you give prizes away? What attracts people, do you think, to your 48-hour fleet?
For this special event, we didn't advertise the giveaways. We had a few giveaways and stuff. I think also just the community part of it, because while you're waiting for the next wormhole to spawn and so on, we sometimes take little breaks, but also we just chit chat and we just have a lot of fun on comms and we drink. So I think the alcohol consumption of the fleet would also be a nice stat to have. But we drink, we have fun, we fool around on comms, and that's very enjoyable. It's almost as if I was back in the day when there were LAN parties. So I had this feeling this weekend. Like, it's kind of exhausting. You're kind of sitting a lot, but also I had this LAN party feeling, and that we were all taking part in this crazy endeavor. It was a crazy endeavor. It was really ridiculous to try to plan out. A lot of our fleet members who've been on, because this is also the most complicated fleet type that we have at the moment in terms of logistics and coordinating it all, and the most taxing for the FCs, because there's so many gears that need to work for this fleet type where you're wormhole rolling all the time and you have constant different enemies and engagements, and sometimes they try to take over your wormhole, they try to do traps, and you're always busy and on your edge. So it was a real big challenge for the FCs and for the team. And I think just how daring it was, people kind of wanted to try and see how it is, how it's going to turn out, if it's going to fail completely or not.
Good point. I was actually just thinking that it's like late April, 48 hours of drinking and hanging out and talking about Eve. Are you sure you're just not missing FanFest?
I bet everyone is, or everyone who has been on FanFest. They were missing it, I guess.
I heard that CCP Convict, actually, speaking of FanFest and hanging out with CCP and doing dev bar crawls and stuff.
There on Friday, and I was real life busy when he was there, but I saw that he was there on Friday.
Yeah, I heard that he did talk a little bit about stuff that's coming up and whatnot, so that's kind of exciting.
Oh, I wish I could have talked to him, but sadly not.
Fair enough.
That's fine. Other FCs talk to him. We have so many competent people, and it was really humbling to see that. And it was like magic, because no one person can make it all happen. Not even for an hour. I mean, we had some people. One guy, Johnny Guns, he's an FC, and also he has a lot of accounts, and sometimes he was doing 5 jobs at once. It was crazy.
Oof. That does sound crazy. So, but you guys make Bomber's Bar makes a lot of money off of this stuff, though, right? Because you're killing expensive stuff. Do you pay out to people?
No, I think it cost us like 5 billion or so.
Oh, okay. So you guys actually it's not an economic thing for you.
No, I mean, we got some Roracle loot theoretically, but I think the guy was opting to steal it, so he was kicked forever now. But that almost never happens. But even if we would have gotten that loot, we would have lost a bunch of money, but that's fine.
What do you lose money on?
It's fuel replacement ships for the rolling, because you have per certain amounts of holes rolled, and if you have engagements on those holes, and you just have a few rolling ships lost every, I don't know, 20 wormhole rolls or whatever, you lose one. And those ships and little bit of the Obamacare of some engagements where we lost a few people. But mostly fuel and all the bombs and all the ammunition, the cyno inhibitors, spare tackle ships, because tackle ships die a lot. So we brought in a few more spares so they don't have to go back and reship so much. So it all adds up, and it adds up very quickly. Go a little bit to Jita, boom, 2 bill gone.
Sure. So
What
what is a wormhole? What does rolling
I
wormholes
think
have
we-
anything to do with Bomber's Bar? Or stealth bombers?
So basically, it would be pretty hard for us to do a Tour de Eve just with a Black Ops and fuel trucks. I guess if we wanted to go all around Nullsec in a big circle or something, we would need, I don't know, 10 fuel trucks, and we would need to refuel at some places. So being in a C2 with a nullsec static, that's the wormhole name, you basically just always destroy the nullsec static, and within 1 minute, you get a new nullsec. So you get a completely new area, hopefully, if it's not spawning 3 jumps away. You get a whole new area every time you roll and you destroy the wormhole. And then you have a new chance of getting targets and a wholly new area, while your supplies can stay static, which makes it way more possible for 24-hour fleets.
Interesting. Okay.
Also, people can just dock. People can just dock, go to sleep, and next morning they wake up, make a coffee, they turn the computer on again, and then they X up again, and then they're back in the fleet, they undock, and they're right back to the content. That's exactly what I did on Sunday, and it was really cool.
So does that make it difficult to bring new people in?
Yeah, the new people, we gave them an access list, and we showed them where to find the wormholes in HiSec, and then they were just traveling through HiSec there to the system, and then they went in through the wormhole chain and just followed the bookmarks. They're very well labeled, and even complete new bros managed to join the fleet. One guy even brought his Gila because he thought he could do something with it, and then we organized him a bomber inside the wormhole so he could actually join in on the fun.
Right. That actually brings up a good point. This is an Omega only experience, right? Because all of the equipment that you would require, like you have to be an Omega to do anything that can come with you
Yeah.
guys, right? Yeah.
The
So-
only requirement is a COVID Ops cloaking device on your ship that is functioning, and that's Omega only. That item is just
Right.
for Omegas.
Well, but other than that, like once somebody's Omega, it doesn't take too long, maybe a couple of months maybe of actual skill training to be able to fly a stealth bomber.
Yeah, if you want to do it decently, I think it's 3 months, but I think you can do it in 2 months from the start, like from the start of the game. But most people have core skills already. Then it's probably just 1 month until you sit in one and it's halfway decent.
Somebody points out that an Astero, or sorry, J42W points out that Astero, you can fly as an Astero as a alpha, but not with a covert ops cloak. So that's actually a really interesting question. Could they bridge with an Astero,
Yeah.
even if they're alpha and can't use the cloak?
Yeah, I mean, maybe we could make special fleets where that is an option. Maybe
I'm not
on
saying you
the
have to.
Habakkuk's.
Sorry, I'm just having a mechanical question at this point since I have somebody who
Yeah.
does this.
I'm also I thought about it a lot, and I think if we made an alpha fleet just with the Asteros, or with a bigger portion of the Asteros, we could probably do certain fleet types where they could join, and they could also take the bridge. They could also engage the targets, but after we want to disengage, they don't have the neat Covert Ops cloaking device, so they would need to warp off.
That's fair. Well,
But
that's very interesting.
It's possible.
So, have you guys ever used, since we talked about Poshfin earlier, have you guys considered using Poshfin as a striking point?
Yeah. Gertie, who is in your chat, he utilizes it. He also had, I think he held an alliance training course that our junior FCs are watching, or our FCs are watching. And yeah, we're thinking about it. We keep it in mind. He actually utilized it before, and I think we utilized it for shortcuts before and 1 or 2 engagements, but nothing major. Like we didn't really focus on it yet.
Right.
But it definitely be. I'm considering it for a small gang 20-man fleet or something like that. That does skirmish type anti-subcapital warfare in Pochven. That could be really fun.
I think that there's definitely a lot of potential in there for it. People, it's a good way to strike out without people realizing where you're coming from, maybe.
Yeah, true. But Pochven has its limitations in terms of, standings and so on,
Right.
which is harder for NPSI fleets. So if you
Well-
just go in through one wormhole, then it's fine.
Right. Well, so each system in Pochven is always connected to one of the systems that are within a couple of jumps of where it used to be. So you're always able to like root out and hunt down a pretty decent entrance, depending on what system it is. So certain systems, like if you stage out of Uranichi at first, but that's the problem is that with the standings, you'd be stuck in that one system, which really, if you're wanting to do this Black Ops stuff, you'd want to be able to strike from any system in Pochven. So that's more of it's not really an open public kind of a thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, also, I don't think you can Black Ops drop within Pochven, right?
No,
There's
because
no
you wouldn't be able to.
Cynos.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to light a Cyno inside of Pochven, so you wouldn't be able to like jump from one Pochven to another or anything like that. No, but you'd be able to
could
jump
use
out.
it as a staging, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I
Well,
would also like to fight in there.
sorry, what?
I also wouldn't mind fighting in there because I hear there's pretty capable PvP groups in there.
Oh yeah.
Lucy's roving Hyperions that scare the locals when they decloak.
So
The power they would have, they would be immortal.
So obviously 48-hour fleets take a lot of work. Obviously 24-hour
Massive.
48-hour fleets take a lot of work, a lot of energy, a lot of I guess perseverance, and those kinds of things have a tendency to burn people out, by doing so. So when is the next fleet going to be? Are you going to take some time off? Or are you going to jump right back into it
It's
again?
currently running.
Oh.
Hazard is currently out doing a fleet, yeah.
So no rest for the wicked, huh?
Definitely not for Hazard, apparently. Well, there seems to be, but that's always the thing with our announced fleets. Sometimes it looks like there's a 3-day gap, but those gaps have a tendency to fill themselves really quick as the dates come nearer. So tomorrow, for example, I'm pretty sure someone is going to do some fleet.
So
So
Bomber's Bar
it's
does
really
fleets
good.
every day now.
Oh, yeah.
And you said
Like,
at the beginning
mostly.
that you resurrected Bomber's Bar?
Well, that was in 2014.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of
Okay,
time.
okay. Okay.
A lot of time has passed since then.
And you've been basically
think
running
we
Bomber's
are-
Bar since then.
Well, me. I mean, it's a team effort. It's not like one person alone.
Got it. So you've been amongst the leadership of Bomber's Bar since 2014.
Pretty much, yeah.
And Gertie's pointing out that once a day is an underestimate. That you
Yes.
guys are coming out with two fleets a day.
And those are just the regular fleets. There's also rage pings in between, or little more unofficial fleets where it's a smaller group and we don't want to ping it. But the best way for new people to join is be in the in-game channel, and then you can look up the announcement, but also the Discord. It also has the pre-announced fleets, a list in there, and those are like the sure gonna happen fleets. But there's also gonna be spontaneous pings of FCs because we get intel from all over New Eden. Hey, I just bumped off this revelation off of Tether. I tackled him. He's not responding. Or would you guys be near? And we're like, maybe, let's check it out. And maybe there's a dead revelation a few minutes later.
Awesome. So if if somebody wanted to get involved, how would they do so? You said through the Discord and all that stuff, but what if somebody, one of the main uses of Bomber's Bar that I find over the ages is that, you know, if somebody's being cocky with something big, and I'm not ready to deal with it right now, Bomber's Bar is one of those places that's really good to tip off when you have a piece of information that might be valuable to a bunch of stealth bombers looking around for something to kill. Do you find that kind of... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, we have an intel channel on our Discord, and also has an automated bot message that tells the people how to give intel and what intel is valuable and what information needs to be in there. So it's usually what type of enemy, where, but you know, where and how to get there, if there's already a way from HiSec to get there through a wormhole chain or something, right, or just where it is. But yeah, usually the description is...
Sorry. Can you DM me the information for the Discord so that way I can post it in chat while you're talking? Gertie, I don't actually know. I legitimately do not know whether or not my Discord bot will just rip it apart at the moment. So I'm going to get the link and then I'll post it. Sorry, go on. Never mind. It worked.
1 second.
No one died. Gertie's fine. We're all fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. We got it now.
Already?
Yep, we good. Thank you. All right, so you can go to that Discord, and then you said that there's a bot that basically explains the rest, right?
Yeah, you go to the hashtag Intel channel, and then it's explained how to give the intel. Usually people just say, hey, I have eyes on a pretty big target. It's doing dumb things. So we keep it very vague, like the first line of intel, and then once you're at Rage FC, once you do that, some FC or another, whoever is online, is going to contact you and work out the details of maybe killing it, maybe not.
So how often would you say that is what gets you a kill? That somebody gives you some intelligence and then you guys are actually able to act on it?
Oh, I haven't looked at it lately. Let me check. Oh, all of our MOTD kills is from the last weekend, so I don't know. But I would say, I don't know, like we get a lot of intel, but sometimes it's unreachable. Just, you know, we won't make it in time to go there. But if it's very high value intel, probably 50%, 60% of the time. It's really, you gotta try it, and if it happens, it happens. If the target just decides to stop ratting right when you're on the bridge and the hunter is logging back in, and then the target just docked up and called it a day, well, then you're just out of luck.
Oof. Well, thank you very much for jumping in here and chatting with me for such little notice. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you would like to talk about?
Well, it was so short notice. So short notice. I didn't get any talking points ready or anything, so I'm fine how it is.
Well, we can absolutely have you on. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, and thank you, Mark, for telling me about it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Once again, I will split out that section and move it over to the YouTube, so that way people can experience that interview or in its totality. Thank you very much for coming on and talking about it. And of course, I'd love to have you on another time if you have more interesting stories or information to share.
Oh yeah, sure. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for the offer. And you guys have a great night. It's already 12:30 for me, so I gotta go to bed. Good night, everyone.
Have a good night. And Gertie says 52 plus confirmed killed, 52 hours of fleet, 40 hours streamed, 1 billion per hour kill rate, 8 rollers accidentally lost. So that's some of the 40-hour stats. So 8 rollers dead, but over 52 kills with over 1 billion ISK per hour for 52 hours nonstop. That is crazy. Gertie